If you're planning to come to study in Finland, you don't want to miss a second of this video, because today I'm going to teach you 10 things why studying in Finland will be the best time of your life. Let's go check it right now. What up, Fantastics? Welcome to another video. If you're here for the first time, welcome. My name is Aleksi and I make fantastic videos about Finnish culture, lifestyle and language. So if you're into those kind of things, hit the subscribe and the bell button as well. Number 1, the amazing tutoring system. So basically every new student in universities in Finland get assigned a tutor or tutors. And basically their job is to help the new students to get started with their school and life in Finland, especially if you're an international student. And during the first weeks they will show you around the school and help you all with the practical stuff, course enrollings, opening bank accounts, getting the phone plans, things like this, especially for international students. Basically all the practical stuff you need to know as a student. And some very dedicated tutors will also join you to those parties and will also walk you home if you get too wasted. And the tutoring system depends a little bit from school to school, but for example at Tampere University of Technology, where I used to study, I used to be a study for international degree students, and that was actually very fun. We had like our own Facebook group and we communicated there, and I showed them around, and we had some common parties and stuff, very good stuff. So you don't really have to worry about the new stuff because the tutors will take care of you and will get you started here. Number 2, the student housing system. One of the most worrying topics for you might be is that where I'm going to live in Finland if I come to study there. An answer for this, because in Finland we have these student housing foundations, which basically are non-profit foundations which build, manage and rent really cheap flats for students exclusively. And because they're non-profit, they can offer those cheaper places. And each city has their own foundation. For example, in Helsinki it's HOAS, in Tampere it's TOAS, in Jyväskylä it's KOAS, and so on. And I strongly recommend getting the flat from these places. I never lived anywhere else than these foundation students when I was a student. And just to give an example, when I was living in Tampere in a single studio, I was living in a 27 or 28 square meter single studio, and the rent was like around 360, 370 euros a month, including all utilities, water, electricity, and high-speed interwebs, Finnish webs. I will make a separate video about this topic, like this applying to the student housing. Make sure to subscribe to get the video later. But this is the place where you should definitely get your apartment. This what do you call it? Student foundations. And each city has their own foundation, like I said, so make sure to check out the websites. Number 3, the student unions, associations and clubs and guilds. Every Finnish university and University of Applied Sciences are required by law to have a student union. And basically student union, it's this kind of like I don't think it's organization, but it's this thing that makes sure that everything's running well for the students, and they also participate in the school's board and so on. They're just making sure that everything's going fine for the students. And basically all bachelor and master students in Finland are required by law to become a member of the student union. And also exchange students are available for this student union memberships. It's actually not mandatory, but you should definitely join because you get the student cards and the benefits along with it. And the membership costs around 110 euros a term, but there's a number of awesome benefits to that. I will tell more about these benefits in a sec, so keep watching. And aside from the student union, each student program has their own club or guild, and there are also some sport clubs and also clubs for specific majors. And basically these all exist to make sure the students are having some fun. They organize some parties, events, excursions, and you can go hang out in their club and guild rooms. And all these pretty much exist to make that students are being taken care of. Number 4, the great student discounts. When you become a member of the student union, you get access to the student card and number of awesome benefits. And one of the most important benefits is, for example, the lunch support. So every student restaurant will offer you a good lunch for 260 euro only. And there are also a number of other awesome benefits, for example, 50% discount for long distance buses and trains, discounts for regular restaurants, clothes shops, hair stores, and even goddamn sex shops. And these discounts depend on the city and the school, so make sure to check what your local university and city has to offer for students. Number 5, the Finnish Student Healthcare Service. The Finnish Student Healthcare Service, or YTHS, is again a non-profit foundation that provides healthcare services for students exclusively. And the services are either free or very cheap. And the services range from general health to oral health to mental health to vaccinations. And these are available for the members of the student union. So if you come to study to Finland, you want to make sure you use this because you can get some pretty cheap healthcare service. For example, the first dental checkup for you will be free, and the next one is like 15 euro or 20 euro, something very cheap. And let me give a quick example from my personal life. For example, at the end of my studies, I had to have all my wisdom teeth removed. And guess how much that cost in total? 60 euro. 60 euro for like removing 60. That's like nothing. Like if I had done it like private, it would have been really expensive, or if I had gone to public, there have been like really damn long queues for that. So make sure to use these free or very inexpensive healthcare services if you plan to come to study to Finland. Number 6, the student culture. And this is probably the most awesome aspect of everything in being a student in Finland, because the students have very prominent and visible role in the Finnish society. For example, the Finnish students have the overalls and the caps. For example, the cap what I'm wearing is a cap for engineering students in Finland. It's called teekkarilakki, by the way. And there are a lot of awesome events, parties, celebrations all over the year. Pretty much every week there's something going on for if you're looking for something, if you're looking for action. And everything escalates with Vappu at the end of the term in May. And this offers great balance for studying. And now you might be having the question, well,
isn't Finnish student culture all about getting wasted and drinking booze like no tomorrow?
Well, I don't completely judge you for having this association, but actually nowadays it's not that booze-centered as it used to be, like for example compared to a few decades ago. And let me tell you my personal experience on this. When I was a student, I was actively participating in a lot of parties, celebrations and stuff, but I never really got super drunk during those parties. So I just had like a few drinks here and there, and I was just mostly focusing on socializing, dancing, having fun, talking to new people. So that's exactly what you can do. So if some people just get wasted, you don't really have to do it yourself. But if you're just there like hanging out, having fun, you don't really get judged or like left out nowadays. I think that's good. And even the TEC, which is the labor market organization for Finnish engineers and architects, made an article last year that the booze-centeredness is actually going now down little by little, so we should be fine. Number 7, the low hierarchy between students and teachers and professors. And this is actually a very prominent part of Finnish culture again, because Finnish culture, the Finnish communication and interaction between people is very casual. So we don't really have to address each other formally, even if we are talking about bosses or professors at the university. So forget everything about addressing like Miss Professor Nieminen or Professor Laura. You don't really have to do that. You can just call them with their first name. Like if you meet them, for example, at the school cafeteria or at the corridors, you can say, "Hello Nina, how are you?" Because that's how Finnish culture works, and that's very good because it removes all the stiff, like a hierarchy level stuff. Because in Finland everything's pretty much equal, and it also applies how you address and talk to your professors or superiors, for example, at work. And the same applies to, for example, if you're on the phone or if you're writing an email, you can just say like "Dear Nina" or like "Hello Nina," like just saying the first name. Maybe if you're writing to a completely new professor for the first time, then it might make sense. But if you're, for example, attended their classes or something, you can just say like "Moi Nina" or "Hi Nina," and that's completely fine. Completely fine. Number 8, the awesome campuses and facilities. I haven't been to all the campuses in Finland, but the ones I've been to, they have pretty nice and awesome facilities for students. And this includes, for example, fun study spaces, libraries, silent rooms, cubicles, and even 3D printers free to use. And this is pretty good because the Finnish universities are putting a lot of effort to make sure that the students are enjoying their time at the university, and it's fun to hang out and study there, And not to mention that the universities usually offer some pretty good sports facilities as well. For example, at the Tampere University of Technology, they had a really nice Tamppihalli where they had gym, group exercises, and also like floorball, tennis, and a lot of these kind of different sports. Number 9, the academic freedom. This is quite interesting because basically the concept of academic freedom is that no one really cares how you study as long as you're making progress. So for example, the classes, lectures are completely free to join or free to attend, because as long as you just meet the class requirements to pass, That's all you need to do. So no one really cares how you study, how much, how less you study. As long as you just make the passing grades, that's what's important. So if, for example, if you feel like you don't really learn anything in the lectures, just skip them, because it's just completely waste of time. I remember I went to a few lectures where I just mostly spent my time on Facebook or editing videos or something like this. So if you don't really feel like you're learning anything in the lectures, you don't really have to go there. So let me just give a quick example. There might be a course where the requirements are an exam and an assignment. So as long as you just do the assignment and get the passing grade at the exam, that's enough. So it doesn't really matter if you learn the stuff at the lectures or by self-studying completely. That's all that matters. And this can be, depending where you come from, this can be a little bit a challenge. Now you're just completely responsible on your own studies and your own progress. And what you also have to really learn is time management, because now you have to make sure that you are learning everything in every course in order to pass the courses and get those important credits. Number 10 is the good support. So there are actually a number of good supporting services for students. For example, if you have a little bit struggle with the course selection, you don't really know what you want to study or which major minors you want to choose, you can just apply a time at the study counselors to help you to make easier and better choices with the course stuff and so on. Ranging all the way to, for example, psychologists. Like I remember at TUD there used to be a psychologist. So if you have some stress in your personal life, you need someone to talk to, you can just book a time at the psychologist. You can just speak there. They have like a, what do you call it, vaitiolovelvollisuus. They are required to stay silent. They cannot really spread the stuff, you know, like psychologists always are. If you need to just let it out and you need someone to talk to, even those kind of stuff is offered at the universities. And if you want to get some tips how to get a part-time job here in Finland, I made a separate video about that. Make sure to do it here and make sure to subscribe for more fantastic videos in the future. I'll see you next time. So moro.